What's going on, guys? This is Qazi. Welcome to another epic video. It's been a while since we did a look recreation. So today I'm going to be doing something that I'm basically swimming in that Kool-Aid right now. It's the Amazon Prime series, The Boys. Such an amazing show. I mean, cliffhanger after cliffhanger. It's unbelievable. But most importantly, the thing that stuck out to me is the actual look in this show. It reminded me of like how the world was shocked when we watched Transformers back in the day. It was just such a punch in your face, like it just screams style. And I feel like this is what is happening here. So of course I had to do it, and you guys know how much of a sucker I am when it comes to teal and orange sort of deal. So we're creating that look today. But before we even get into it, remember when I put out a video for the Netflix's series Dark, and we wanted to start a new system like where we can judge looks based on certain criteria? Let's do a quick overview and see where this particular look falls under those parameters. So in terms of versatility, I would say this look is about a 3 because it is genre specific. It is literally superhero action movie look. This is not something you would do on a commercial or you would do on a wedding video. Obviously, there's going to be exceptions. If the commercial is sort of like an action slash superhero, theme, then sure. But in general, you wouldn't do that. In terms of style, I would give it about a 9.5. I feel like this look is pushed in a good way. I am all about being bold and just go out there. The last category is longevity. I would give it about a 4 because just like Transformers, it was an epic look. It was a sensation. Same thing goes with Sin City. Same thing goes with 300. But those looks, you can't really do it over and over again, and they date over time. Like now when we watch those movies, we're kind of like, okay, that's dated. Compared to something like Fight Club or Seven, you can see that look today and you'll buy it. You can keep creating those looks because they're close to quote unquote reality. So for me, this is where this look sits. And if you're a beginner filmmaker who wants to make their work stand out, color grading is one of the most effective ways to do that. If you're coming from Premiere Pro or Final Cut 10, then looking at a node-based software like Resolve will just confuse the heck out of you. In this free training, you're not only going to learn everything about nodes, you will also learn to build the perfect node tree regardless of the project that you're working on. I will end the session with an extended Q&A. These questions came from you guys. Click the link in the description to sign up for this free training. Before we jump into our tutorial section, let's do the talent spotting. And this time I'm going to be giving a shout out to Pratik. This kid is a wonder boy. Okay, he's 17. He has already worked on 3 television commercials in his country. Definitely check out his page if you want to get inspired or follow someone that is killing the game when it comes to color grading. He's the person to follow. Here's his handle, pratik.mahesh. And guys, if you're enjoying the content, you know what to do. Smash that like button, subscribe to my channel for more awesomeness. Make sure to follow me on Instagram, and let's roll the intro. Let's check out the tech specs on this show. It was shot on Sony Venice, which is a 6K resolution camera, shoots in 16-bit RAW with 15 stops of dynamic range. Lenses, they went with the Panavision T-series lenses that are known for their high contrast and glare control. It was graded by Company 3, the best of the best, and that's about it for the tech specs. Let's get into the look analysis. All right, so this is the reference frame that I chose from this show. So let's go through a couple of things. I'm going to start off with our anchor points. So where are our highlights, shadows, and skin, stuff like that is sitting, right? So let's start off with our highlights. I'm going to choose this area right here, and I'm going to hit Shift H so we can see where our highlights are sitting at. So you can obviously see it's more on the cyan or teal side, and we can see it here too, like how low the reds are compared to the green and blue right here. And now let's check out where the shadows are. And same thing, you can see how much teal is in the entire look, or cyan, and we can confirm it by looking at our parade here as well. Like, look how low the red is compared to the green and the blue. So this is what the theme of the entire image is, right? It's very, very much on the cyan side, but then the skin kind of pops out. So I'm going to click right here, grab his skin, just a part of it, and see where that is sitting. So we can clearly see that even the skin looks like it is how it's supposed to be, but it's not really. Because if we look at our overall image, there is no indicator for skin. Like the skin is not where it's supposed to be. Now, if I were to kind of quote unquote like neutralize this shot and try to make it a bit more natural looking, let's just start off with our white balance, quick white balance technique. So I'm going to hit it on that white right here. So that kind of takes away all that and like balances out the image, and we can start to see our vector scope, looking more normal, if you will. And then I can create another node. And in this one, I can just take my gamma and kind of push the skin even more, something like that. And then obviously we can, dial back the saturation if we need to. But if I do on and off, and you can see where we started to where we're ending up now. If I take these two, this is what the look was to like what I'm trying to do to make it look halfway natural. But the point is that you don't need to do this. When you're going for a cinematic look, this is the secret sauce. This is what's really going down. If you look at the parades and look at the scope, this is what's happening. And anytime you try to do something like that, you're going to post it somewhere and people are going to tell you your skin is all over the place. It's too green. It's too cyan, blah, blah, blah. Yet we watch these high-end shows that are done in HDR or Dolby Vision, whatever have you on Prime Video or Netflix, and they go for these looks loud and proud. So that is just something I want to give you permission that it's okay to kind of push your looks. Now, we are going to keep that in mind when we go to our shot and see what we have to work with. So I'm going to go to my grade, and this is the shot that we have. Obviously, very, very different to what we're trying to create. Because if I look at this to look at that, like it's very bright. It just too much light compared to this. So there's a long way to go to get it in that world. Not to mention that my shot is filmed with Sony a7 III in 8-bit S-Log3. Okay, so first thing that I'm going to do is go under my project settings, and under my project settings, I'm going to go to color management. I'm going to change it to color managed, and I'm going to choose the DaVinci wide gamut. I've been having a lot of fun in that color space, so I'm going to go there. Nothing changes, right? Everything stays the same. So what we need to do is go under clips, right click right here, go under input color space, and now I'm going to select S-Gamut 3 Cine S-Log3, okay? And boom. So now we converted it from log to Rec 709 color space, okay? So what we're seeing here is that now if I go to this shot to that shot, we have a long way to go, okay? So if we look at the anchors here, what do we have to do? We have to get all of this in that cyan green world. Then what we need to do is we need to match the black points and the contrast, and we need to bring overall image down quite a bit. And then we have to take the skin and kind of blend it. We don't want to pull it out too much. We're still going to isolate the skin, but we're going to keep driving it back until it looks close to our reference look. Okay. So now let's go back into this view right here so we can see the two when I'm building out my look. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is, as always, let's just build out the node tree, and then we're going to go step by step in creating this look. So I'm going to create a couple of nodes, and for now, let's go to our first node. Actually, I'm going to go to my node number 2, and this is going to be my contrast and pivot. So I'm going to start with some contrast, and then I'm going to take my pivot, and I'm going to bring it all the way down. You know what happens when you go to the right? Everything darkens. If you go to the left, it brightens up. And now I'm going to just give it a bit more contrast. I don't want to do too much in this one node, but I do want to get somewhere half decent. Okay, so even something like that is not terribly bad. If I do before and after, we kind of came a long way. So I'm going to keep it somewhere around here. Now I'm going to go to my first node. And here what I want to do is I'm just going to grab my white balance tool, and I'm going to click right here to kind of get a proper white balance. So if I do before and after, we can see that, how much on the yellowish green side it was to where it is now. And some people might say this is too much, maybe split the difference. It's okay. We can just leave it here for now, and we can just go from there. The white is looking pretty close to white to me. So I'm going to leave it there. Now Let's go back to our comparison. So now what we need to do at this stage, let's name these first. So this is my balance. This is my curves. Actually, my contrast. This is actually going to be my look. And let's do a layer mixer. And this one is going to be my skin. Okay. So all I have to do now is uncheck this, go under my qualifier, just click right here. And now our qualifier is going to be loose. It doesn't need to be perfect, and you're going to find out why. So I'm going to go ahead, make some adjustments, and then close it off a little bit. Something like that. Now the hair is selected, that's totally fine. So I'm going to keep it somewhere around here, add some denoise, and that's about it. So this is where the magic is going to happen. So now let's start dialing in the overall look minus the skin in that world. And the tool that I'm going to use to do that is going to be my offset. So I'm just going to start attacking it pretty heavy. So let's just go in that direction. So something like this, right? Now, if we look at the skin, I mean, it's just too much, right? The skin is just not doing it at all. Like we are really, really far. So one thing that I would do to kind of blend the two in is by going under my key mode and then just splitting the difference. So kind of start dialing it back until it starts to kind of blend in, right? So even something like this. So, I mean, big difference, right? If I wouldn't have grabbed it, it would have been just too much. I'm liking where I'm at right now. Okay, so this is not bad at all. Now I'm going to go right here, create a new node. And in this one, we got to clean up our black points. So I'm going to go under my log wheels and I'm going to do this. I'm going to kind of pull up my shadows to make my black points kind of clean and then crush them. So I'm going to bring it down quite a bit because, I mean, look at the blacks here, right? I mean, they are crushed. So I'm going to bring this down to somewhere around here. And now let's neutralize it a little bit more. So I'm just looking at, you know, jacket to jacket, basically. All right, so this is not looking bad at all. If I do before and after, you see the difference. So, I mean, this is looking pretty good. I'm happy with that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go under my mid-tone and I'm going to start messing with the wheel and just kind of bring it down a little bit. And let's pull some of that red out. So I'm just using my mid-tone to do that. And if I do before and after, I mean, we're making a huge difference in this node, okay? So now what we need to do is let's call this look adjustment. I'm going to create another one. And this is going to be my custom curves, okay? And all I need to do here is make sure my editable splines is turned on. I'm going to click on the bottom end right here. Grab this, pull it down somewhere around here, and then just kind of bring it down a little bit, because on the low end, this shot is very contrasty, okay? So I want to make sure that I'm getting that too. I'm nailing that. So this is already looking better. Now at this point, what we can do is we can create another node and call this global adjustment. And here, what I want to do is I want to go under my HSL curves. I want to take my blue. I'm just literally focusing on this blue to that blue. And I want to pull it down until it starts to get in somewhat of like a similar area. So this right here is already looking so much better. So this is before, really stingy, and then this is after. So maybe I'll bring it up a little bit. So these were the anchors that we wanted to nail to get this look. And now it's very natural because we didn't do anything where we have to track every motion. I mean, we created this look just by using 8 nodes. And now one more extracurricular here is going to be that we can just turn this on. Obviously, that's not editor's job, but let's just say this was shot on anamorphic then it will look like this, right? I mean, I can just pull this down, keep it somewhere around here. And now if I do before and after, I mean, look at this. So the more and more I look at it, there's one more thing that I would want to do to really just perfect this look. It would be taking these highlights and adding a little bit more cyan in there. Just like how in the highlights here, there's a bit more cyan. So the way we can do that is I'm going to create a parallel node here. And let's just call it highlights, HI. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here. I'm going to hit Shift H so you guys can see what I'm selecting. And I'm just really going to actually, you know what, reduce the softness and then just make sure that I don't grab her shirt and we just grab the highlights. And now what I need to do is just go under my gain and start going toward that cyan. So, I mean, I'm just going to pull it down. Obviously, always do too much and then kind of pull it back. But if I do this before and after, it doesn't look fake. It looks super realistic. Everything just blends in so much better. And if I go between the two looks, I feel like it's just one of those touches that is really going to depend on if you want to do this or not. I personally think it makes a big difference. So I am going to leave it in. And now let's kill everything and then go from where we started to where we ended up. So first step was our contrast to just kind of get the ball rolling. Then I balanced out my image so it can help me pull better keys and selected the skin. And then this is where the look was created using the offset. And then we adjusted our black points and our midtone by using log wheels. And then I did a custom curves using the editable spline to just get the same contrast going. And then finally, we made a global adjustment, which was just really to take the sting out of this blue right here to kind of get it close to this right here. And then finally, this is again, a little extracurricular thing where I just went and grabbed the highlights and added a little bit more cyan in there. Now, again, totally up to you. We can just go back and kind of split the difference if we want to. Like, I mean, it's really up to you what you want to do with it. But if I do before and after, I think it just really creates that cinematic look and brings it all together. So just look at this. I mean, before, after, let's check out the final look in full screen. It feels good to be back and doing look recreations. Drop a comment below. Let me know if there is any specific look you want me to cover. And do not forget to watch the free training. Link is down below. Trust me, you need to learn everything about nodes if you want to get good at color grading. On that note, smash that like button, subscribe to my channel for more awesomeness, and I will see you guys in the next video.